There are many of you out there that are thinking about selling your house but don't know how to go about choosing an estate agent, or in fact estate agents plural. Well, I'm Dan Newton. I've got 35 years experience in the housing market in France. I'll be going over the number of agents to use, how to choose them, how to handle their evaluations and how to proceed. Well, let's start with the easy bit. How many agents? Well, how long's a piece of string, I suppose. Me personally, I'd say there's two ways of doing this. Totally depends on whether you're more interested in a sole agency agreement with an agent that can actually give you more service than possibly the other ones in the area, or whether you prefer the actual open multiple agency system. If you do want to go for the multiple agency system, I personally wouldn't advise going more than 3 agents. If you have more than 3 agents, then when people are looking on the websites, they are thinking that that house needs to be sold, the owners are desperate, we can put in a stupid offer. 3 tends to be a good cut-off point, I find, but not just any 3. To start with, the basic criteria, I would say if I was you, I'd go for a local high street agency. Obviously they cover the area, they've got the contacts in the local area around your house. Then you want to go for what we call a mandataire, which is a commercial agent for one of the big chains. Then last but not least, I'll go for an agency that is aiming for the English clientele, especially if you have a character home in the countryside, for example. Right. Whether you're thinking about going with an exclusive mandate or an open, what we call mandat simple, first thing you need to know that in France, when you sign a mandate exclusive, it is very much a sole agency. It's not just a case of them being the only agency advertising. It means they are the only agent, or the only people, let's say, that can sell your property. So be a bit wary of that. Just make sure you know what you're going into. So, how do you choose the actual agents who are best to market your property? Well, these days everything is done by internet, so that's probably the best place to start. I'll put yourself in the feet of the buyers who are looking for a property like yours. In a sense, go on the internet, go onto Google and do a property search in your area for properties similar to yours. Keep it fairly open though, because certain agencies might not have the perfect house like yours, so it won't work. Basically, a 3-bedroom house in whatever region yours is in, or local commune, or local close to whatever town. Then see who actually comes up on those searches on the top rankings. Okay. After that, it's not just a case of being in a top ranking on Google, it's also to do a presentation. The next step would then actually to go onto their website, see how the properties are presented. Do they do decent photos? How many photos do they have? Do they do floor plans? Do they do drone shots? Do they do virtual tours? Do they give you information about the local surroundings, distance to shops, coasts, airports, whatever? The more information that agency gives, the more the chance they'll have of selling your house. Lots of old school French agencies still give a minimum amount of information. Then after that, you might want to look at the actual fee tables on the agency website. The French agencies are obliged to actually show their fee tables on their website. Sometimes it's a bit hidden though, but normally speaking you should have access either from the main menu, which is permanently showing, to a fee table, or from each property information sheet. So find where their fees are, have a look at their fee table, see what it's like. Obviously if you're foreign to the French system, you might be surprised how expensive French fees are, but that's another long debate. But anyhow, look at their fees, make sure they're not too expensive. Average fees on, let's say, 200,000 these days is somewhere between, let's say, 4 and 7.5%, to give you an idea. After that, you don't necessarily want just to go with the cheapest one. Advertising, etc. in France is expensive, and you get a discount fee system where some people are advertising 2%, 1.5%, whatever, or some even agencies asking for minimum fixed fees like Purple Bricks do. It doesn't really work in the actual French system because of the costs involved. So don't necessarily go for the cheapest one. Obviously don't go for the highest one either, it doesn't help either. So look in the middle and cut it down that way. After that, another thing to look into the agencies is where do they advertise? Depending on the sort of property you have, obviously it depends on different clientele. Well, admittedly the houses are selling quite easy at this present time, but if you want to go for the English buyers, make sure the agency advertises in England, for example. A lot of the big high street chains don't actually advertise abroad. If they give the information, check out where they advertise. Then last but not least is the actual reputation of the agency. Two ways of checking this out: either word of mouth, if you know enough people in the area, see what they think. The other one is on, I would say, on Google advice. Check out the Google rating, how many stars it's got. There are other star systems as well for estate agencies, like there are for many things. So check those out, see what the comments are from people and see what they think of them. Okay. Once you've made your choice of 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 agencies, whatever you want, obviously then book up an appointment, get them to come out and have a look at the property. Most self-respecting agencies will do an evaluation for you of your property. This can be anything from a finger in the wind job through to like a 15-page document they'll send through to you later. Any agency that doesn't want to evaluate your property will give you an idea of price. Well, if it was me, I wouldn't start with anyhow. After that, sometimes they'll give you a duration there on site. You can see what they think. Sometimes they might send it through within 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on how they work. Once you've got the evaluations through, then don't necessarily go with the most expensive one. I know we all would love to sell our houses as much as we possibly can. Present market at the moment, everyone is doing their utmost to get properties on because there is a shortage. One of those things sometimes is by overpricing houses. So look into it, think about it. Don't necessarily go for the most expensive one. I'm not saying don't go for the expensive one. If they've got the right arguments, follow them. But don't just work on the price factor itself. Okay. Once you've actually got the appointments with the agents, obviously there is another criteria that comes into your selection, and that is, well, gut feeling. Sometimes the contact just won't be there. Sometimes it doesn't feel right. Sometimes it feels great. So see how you actually feel about the actual agent who's coming out, because that would no doubt be the agent who is dealing with your property. You've had your evaluations through now. You've actually met the agents. You've seen the services they provide. Now think which one is the best one for you. Who do you think will sell your house in the best delay and at the best price for you? Like I said, just a quick reminder, not necessarily the highest bidder. Possibly when you've actually met the agent, you're actually so impressed with them that you want to go an exclusive mandate with them. Usually speaking, that is a good sign, and it means it will get their house sold. If you don't want to go the exclusive mandate, then like I say, I wouldn't suggest more than 3. Okay? So, well, it's your house, it's your call. Hope this helps. And if you do like these videos, don't forget to click the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll be back soon with other information for you. Bye.